Okay, so welcome to what's new with Microsoft Dynamics CRM, the CRM Spring Release 2014. We're going to cover the updates that are affecting marketing, sales, customer service, and some other features that came along with that. Unfortunately, a lot of these features are still being released. Some are, some aren't. So we'll be doing screenshots and looking at the 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 final to almost final versions. So here we're going to dive into the new Microsoft Dynamics Marketing. It's actually separate than the Microsoft CRM login, but it's very similar interface. Probably I think one of the top new features that are coming out with this is its visual campaign designer. Basically, they have made it a good interface, so marketing people can go here and, as you can tell, they can go here and pick their lists, their client lists, dynamic or static. They can, put in whatever email they're planning on sending. They can add their links. They can show where the links break out to landing pages. Um, social media links, and then you can actually add, some logic in there. You can wait 3 days and go back and then and touch the customers, and then you can even integrate actual events for a marketing email blast, to actually get some face-to-face uh, time with the customers. I think this is great because they actually are adding all different types of icons and ability in here that allow your marketing staff to go ahead and set this up and allow it to run, and uh, and really made it logical and made it easier to use than historically the more the more technical programs like Adobe and some of the other marketing tools that are out there. So another great thing is going along with your email campaigns after you go ahead and send out. They're doing a whole lead lifecycle management, which is great because that's going to give you some insight to your sales department and your marketing department, of course, on which leads are the hottest that are most prospects. They actually added a lead scoring ability. You can see by the graphs here. People that are going through, and if you send out an email, you have 3.5, 2.5% click through there. You have a percentage or unique. Here's your total clicks, and it goes down through. You actually click in there and you can drill in and see, okay, these are the leads that are getting clicked on. These are the pages they went to. These are the links they went to, and you can use that valuable information um, to give for your marketing department to actually refine and get better at every time the next time they send. And then also you could also do like a hot lead list, which is great for your sales departments, which say, hey, these are the customers we should be proactive, not retroactive, and actually go out and reach out to those customers and really get the ball rolling on the sales process, which is the whole goal of marketing. So um, I'll go to the next slide here. Of course, they kept in line, like I said, with the UI of the new CRM, which is real clean, and it has a lot of great visuals in there to help interpret the data, which is awesome. And as you can see, it is a little different though. The drop downs, it's not Microsoft CRM, it's Microsoft Marketing or Dynamics Marketing. But it's been geared towards the marketing staff, the marketing people. So they're able to. So it's going to make sense to them when they're going through the software and actually using it, setting up campaigns and clicking and drilling down. And then it's connected with a connector between your CRM and Microsoft Dynamics Marketing. There's a connector that integrates between your leads and contacts and opportunities, so you're not missing out. And having there's no gap and loss or in translation between the two systems. They're integrated seamlessly. And of course, you can build out. This is kind of showing you the home page, and you can build out all the graphs and charts and bar charts and pie charts just as easy as the new CRM software. And then here's another. Here's a little more in depth. If you really get into the BI, the business intelligence, really taking all the data that you're getting and you're capturing. from your marketing, you can actually go ahead and display it here and really get an idea of who you're targeting and whatnot, and integrate geographical locations in there, which is awesome. It definitely takes it up another notch on ability to really look at your customer and your audience and whatnot. Obviously, the big thing with the Dynamics marketing is it's email, scalable email marketing. And I don't know how many people have used some other tools like Exact Target, which was a great tool. Actually got taken by Salesforce, purchased by Salesforce, but that was a great tool, and a few other ones. Your Constant Contact. They have the same capabilities. You can go ahead and do Adobe Dreamweaver, and you can build. You can have your web developer build your email and then go ahead and upload it. But a really cool feature is the collaboration ability. You can see down here, there's a little comment here from another marketing staff on this email blast that they're putting together, this content right here. And I think that's awesome because you can work as a department. If there's more than a few people, that it really becomes handy because instead of having a shared drive and someone updating one file and another file, and it depends how your marketing department's set up, but this allows the ability to really to collaborate on top of having really good content, and then of course deliverability that comes with the whole what you expect from a full blown email blasting service. So that's really great. They took that on and moving forward with this new features. So again, that was kind of a quick overview of the new Dynamics marketing. Actually, I guess our salesman David Gerson explained that they did come out today, as of the 10th of June. They did release pricing, so Dynamics marketing is going to be hitting the market here pretty soon and will be available. So that's going to be awesome when we can start rolling that out to our clients. Next thing in CRM, this is actually in the sales module in Microsoft Dynamics CRM, is InsideView's Insights. I'm not sure if anyone's used data.com and their integration with Salesforce. I'm not saying that I have, but I've been around it and checked it out. It's pretty cool. What it does is it actually pulls information off of, for example, a publicly traded company. If you look here at the screen, you can see this is a publicly traded company. You're going to have information that will be available on the internet and different sources, and Dunn's and Bradstreet and Dunn's and whatnot, that will collect business information. Well, what this will do is it'll pull that information from all these different sources. It says here 30,000 sources, and it'll actually integrate that automatically into your contact database, your accounts database, and then allows your salespeople and your marketing and whoever's using the CRM to actually see that information. It compiles it and puts in, for example, if you had Microsoft as one of your contacts, it would go in and it would pull, their address from their Washington location, their main corporate address. It would pull in their CEO, it would pull in all their different information and whatever's available on the internet, and then some of these other sources that they get from, it'll compile it and organize it and put it in a format that your people can use. And if that's something that your business needs in its sales process, and that would really help, I suggest this is a great add-on. And it's a great tool. The great thing about it is, it is a little bit more, but the great thing is that it just works. And we've actually have it in our demo environment, and definitely we definitely could do a walkthrough with it. It's an awesome tool for salesmen and following up with new customers and finding their information. Another big thing with Microsoft CRM Dynamics is their push towards to work on everything. I mean, it is historically a web application, so a web browser application. So it should be able to work on all web browsers, and they've done a really good job with the newest version of CRM that came out, and now they're still working on it, which is great. So as you can see here, it's working on Internet Explorer 11. It's been tested and verified. It works on all the Apple devices, which is awesome. They have really done a great push at building out their tablet application. So it is a little different than your phone. They have a phone app too, which is a little bit limited, but it's still accessible, which is great. The tablet version though will bring out graphics. Will really get you a lot of the capabilities that pretty close to the desktop, if not, all of them. So it's a awesome thing that they're really building out the mobile functionality, and this just kind of goes over some of the new items that were incorporated with this newest release that they've verified. A next big piece is the kind of the third module in the CRM, and it really depends on your business if this makes sense. But they have a unified service desk that they're really, instead of just some cases and a service calendar, they really put some effort into building this out. And basically, if your company needs that service functionality, um, they have this in here, so you can actually have your service department, your people answering the phones, your reps picking up, and they can hit a call script on the screen. They can go ahead quickly enter all the information that's needed for that service case, so it can go on to the next person in the process. Um, and that's great because it's really giving the ability for companies to turn this on, do some quick configuration and then go for it, and start using it and not have to build out a whole custom um, service desk functionality. So and we're going to go a little bit farther into here. The case form's been updated following the similar update to the sales. They got the 3 column. It's designed to be easier on the eyes and give you all the relevant information along with utilizing the larger, wider screens that are more typical nowadays on computers, which is awesome. They integrated on their case forms entitlements and SLAs, so service level agreements, which if that matters to you, if that's something that your company uses, that's awesome. You now again have it out of the box. There's going to be some configuration, but I mean you don't have to go develop it and build it. You can use what they have, and it's going to integrate with all the CRM functionality. And not to kind of touch on that point a little bit more. Not only will it allow you to your service department be able to input and operate correctly, but a great thing is actually it's going to integrate with your contacts, your accounts, and it's going to sync. Then once it integrates with that, then now the sales side now has the lead and the opportunity where that service customer originally came from, say a year before. Well, now they can see that there's customer service going on, and they can if that's information that you wish to share within your organization, you have that ability, you have that 360 view, and it, depending on what your business is, that could be very important that they can go in there and they can see. Maybe they can't adjust it, but maybe they can see, oh, they came in for service or there was a service issue, and they resolved it, and maybe there's a renewal or whatnot. That's great information to have and to be readily available. And I would say it probably needs some training and whatnot unless it's already being used, but it's a great option that really gives you that uh, analytics and whatnot that you wouldn't typically get from using multiple different pieces of software. You have software's company A for the sales department and software company B's software for the service department. This is going to be all wrapped into one, which is awesome. The next thing is also they did a little bit more to help out with the usage of service again. They added some functionality. You can merge the cases, which is great from a data management standpoint. You don't have to get rid of any information. You can merge it together and then organize it. Parent-child cases, which is awesome. So you have your main issue, and then you have multiple services cases underneath there. There's a timer, so that's going to kind of go with your KPIs of your service department. How quick is the responding? When is it getting resolved? Defining status reasons. In the CRM, you have the option to go ahead and for example, in sales, if an opportunity sells, you can say it was won, or it moves the next process, and they would activate or deactivate. Well, that's the technical jargon that's used to for your business processes to work with the software system. Well, here they allow you to update these status reasons and whatnot and change it to the lingo inside of your company, which is great. Because you now can train your people what they've already been doing, and then you can just update the software to work with what they're saying. They don't have to learn the CRM version of closing the case out or completing the case or upping the importance on a case. Automatic case creation is great feature. It's going to kind of go with your processes. So if you have a really automated process already with workflow and whatnot, and you want, when this happens, A, B, C, and I want at E, I want, a case to be created, and then that's sent to this person or this department or whatnot. You can add that in there. That has that ability, which which is the power of a CRM system. Is you can automate a lot of things that might fall through the cracks, so you're not missing out. So that's really great that they built out the service, to a point where it's built as well out as the sales module. Again, this is kind of the last little bit on the services. They added a new settings area it's called service management in the settings area. So this is for your power users, your admins, your IT admins. Like I said, it goes back to being out of the box. You can plug it in, you can configure it, you can start using it. That's what this here is for. So you can go in there and you can update the queues, you can change the subjects, you can change the parent and child case settings. Here's your automatic case creation rule setting. So it's designed so the power users inside of your company can go and do it. Not that us as a consultant, don't want to be there helping you set everything up, but there's a lot of things that internally, it's just gonna make more sense that maybe you have that person that is kind of the pseudo technical functionality person. They can go in here and they can do some updates, they can do some tweaks, they can make a quick adjustment. Instead of having to go, call the consultant and get this adjusted, there's a lot of stuff you can do internally, which is great. And then of course, there's obviously always, the option to do full on custom too, which is always great for us. Um, Another part of Dynamics is they purchased a company called Parature, and obviously they purchased this company because they did very well, which is multi-channel care. So this company provides like a website portal, provides it's all cloud-based, but provides a really strong solution for customer service, self-service. So if you have really detailed contracts or just customer service things that your customers need to be able to go into and handle on their own, you now have a platform you can build that upon. And Parature it, and then it integrates with your CRM, which is obviously great because again, going back to that 360 view of your customers. So this allows multiple channels. They have like a Facebook page that'll integrate in. They got the web portal. They've got so many different options. It's a great tool, and Microsoft built this in to integrate in with their CRM. So if you really need that strong self-service ability, for customer service, this is going to be a great option for you. So and they can work on their own terms. It's another option. And maybe your company doesn't have that set up and it's all handled on the phone. Maybe this is a great way to expand and try a new process that's more automated and less reliant on service personnel. Lastly, there's the social aspect that they've integrated into the CRM. Obviously, if your company is really big on YouTube and blogs and forums, this was something that you didn't have the option to deal with within the CRM. And of course, they've added this integration in there. Again, it's kind of a marketing thing, I would say, that kind of would be using this, and it is inside of the CRM, but again, it's something that's designed to allow you to really do that brand marketing through the social media outlets. It's a big buzzword right now, and I think it's a great option if you're not using it at all. I think this would be a great tool to get going and start seeing how many getting your Facebook likes and doing a Twitter account, and reaching out and doing brand awareness, because being out there is definitely going to help promote on the social media, and this allows you to bring in that feedback, and integrate it in with your current departments that are already operating, and streamline your processes and whatnot. So again, this is kind of a little add-on functionality that they'll probably be building out more and more, but it's great that they took the steps into here, and I believe they took on, I think they purchased another company for these functionalities. Again, another company that was that they do something well, and then they're brought in because they're a value add to the CRM and making it making it a platform that can handle many different aspects of your sales and marketing and service. And that would conclude our CRM presentation for the new updates that are coming out in the spring release.